This is absolutely huge news for Starfield. This has never happened in the history of Bethesda, by the way. Usually, when Bethesda releases a game, no matter what happens, as soon as it's released, it's out there, and Bethesda will never update it again. Because that's what the modders are for. They will fix the game, they will fix the glitches, they will fix the combat experience, they will fix the graphics. You know, it's done. Bethesda just releases a half-baked thing, and then it's the modder's job that they don't get paid for to fix the game, right? That's usually how it always happens for Bethesda. Bethesda will only maybe put out a patch if someone can literally completely break the game, or the game is in a completely unplayable state, you know, or it's kind of creating problems for your microtransaction engine, as in the situation of Fallout 76, where they updated things frequently, because without that, people would not buy their Battle Pass things and, you know, pay to win stuff in the shop. But usually, Bethesda will never touch a game after release. And Starfield is gonna get a quality of life update from Bethesda. It's truly a new world. And don't get me wrong, this is like a 1 out of 10 even on Blizzard's scale of how much they care about the game from, you know, doing this little. But man, from Bethesda, this is a new chapter of the book. Wow.
All right, so here we go. Yes, we've got a crazy amount of Starfield updates to go over today. So grab that popcorn, sit back, and relax, because this is going to be a big video. Also, take a look at this one right here. It goes on to say, I was casually talking to an NPC when this happened.
That's normal.
Right. Absolutely ridiculous. Let me know, what is the weirdest thing that has happened to you when it comes to an NPC specifically? But yeah, in this video, a player somehow also purchased, get this, an entire space station, and also somehow landed it on a planet. I kid you not. We're going to take a look at that.
Wait,
and
what?
Bethesda revealed
No, that's
that
not a
Starfield
space station.
is its biggest Bethesda launch game of all time, but there's a catch here. We'll dive into that. And a Cyberpunk 2077 dev calls out a Starfield versus Cyberpunk comparison video. Now, things get very interesting very
I think we all have seen that comparison.
quickly here. We'll talk about that. Also, you can keep your eyebrows and get those back. Don't worry, I'll explain in just a moment.
Okay.
And yes, we've got legit feedback about gun mods and key features that would otherwise improve the game. And finally,
finally, a mod that actually makes the guns feel like guns. Are we gonna ditch the time when an SMG needs to enter 2 clips of 50 bullets into a single basic enemy to kill it? Oh boy, that sounds a bit wild. Don't spoil us.
this was figured out after countless hours of play. You're going to want to know this one, so stay tuned to the end of the video. But yeah, we're going to start out with this one right here. And remember, if you're new, be sure to subscribe and turn on the bell notification icon so you never miss a future video. All right, so let's take a look at this headline right here. Starfield.
Those flames look so bad, by the way, because you can tell that those flames aren't actually on the character. They're just, you know, a thing that gets pasted over the box of the character.
Player steals an entire pirate space station, then lands it on a planet. They let me buy their base. What in the world is going on here? It's definitely trending.
Never heard of that one.
Check it out right here. It says this: somehow managed to purchase the key, was able to move parts around in the shipbuilder, not really flyable, but managed to land it on a planet. This one comes from Vegan Satan 666420. And let me full screen this for you all so we can take a closer look as to what is going on here. As you could see, you could clearly see that the space station is in the shipbuilder, it looks like.
I mean, this is just a Bethesda feature.
And then also, yes, somehow apparently landed it on a planet. But yeah, he doesn't make mention of anything like using command prompts or anything like that, or any type of cheat system to actually make this happen. We do have some replies here. Let's get into those. We have Delirious Dell, who says, do not sell it. I sold the din thinking that would somehow fix the bug, and the din is now gone. It says all the poor souls aboard the din. How very sad. So yeah, let me know if you guys are able to figure out how in the world this is possible. But it does beg the question right here. We all want it. They know we want it. Is there any possibility we're going to get the ability to build space stations?
Mods. Obviously, mods.
Seems like that maybe, just maybe, that could
Well, okay, maybe actually, you know, not mods plus the new expansion that's already dead because, you know, polishing the game, useless. Because that doesn't make you money. But creating the new expansion, now that's ka-ching ka-ching, boy. Oh yeah, so you know. Maybe the new expansion. No, wait, actually, you know what? Todd is gonna just do the smart thing. This is what I would do if I was in Todd's place. I would see which the mods are the most bought, and then just put those mods into the game and not pay the people who made the mods anything. And would sell that as an expansion. Now that's smart.
possible. And it says 20 plus crew, random encounters where spacers or the Crimson Fleet attacks without a Preston Garvey type notification. The ability to make it a hub for your cargo links, docking your ships, building new ships, a trade authority outpost. The possibilities are numerous to say the least. Would you like to be able to...
Essentially, if you... They're just asking for a Fallout 4 settlement in space, essentially. That's what's being asked here. Can we have a Fallout 4 settlement in space, please?
Build your own space station.
Dude.
What would you want them to be? Also, I play on console, so however great the modding community might be, I'm probably not going to get access to any of the great mods. I want Bethesda to bring space stations to Starfield. Help us, Todd. You're the console community's only hope. Hold up now.
Todd probably doesn't care about... Todd probably doesn't care about any of you. If Todd Howard read that, he would probably throw that monitor in, well, not the garbage bin, but in some poor person's face, just for added measure, okay? I love Todd Howard to death because he is the greatest snake oil salesman of our time. But man, the fact that people think that he's their savior is just too good.
Because in my most recent video, I did highlight an article which did state that yes, they plan to bring mods and mod support to Xbox in about a year or so. So it seems like that's actually going to be possible. Now, when it comes to space station...
But yeah, on a serious note, obviously they're bringing mods to Xbox and whatnot, because the mods, you're going to have to pay for them, okay? You're going to have to pay for the mods if you want them.
I see this being a reasonable request. We've seen housing mod expansions and that sort of thing for previous Bethesda titles.
Oh, look at that. It only took him 30 shots to actually kill that basic level 2 NPC. Nice.
It's kind of the same difference, but in a different way, of course. So, yeah, I would expect perhaps that maybe, just maybe, we could see like official support for space stations down the road, perhaps through DLC or an expansion.
Dude, look at him. He's unironically wasting all... He has wasted more than 200 bullets killing 2 basic level 0 mobs. What a game.
The more you guys
what a
request
game.
it, the more Bethesda is likely to pay attention to that sort of thing. Now, we
Are
got to
they,
talk
though?
about this one right here. Yes, check it out. Official announcement from Starfield Twitter. It says, as of this morning, Starfield has already surpassed 6 million players, making it the biggest Bethesda game launch of all.
The reason they say 6 million players is because they can't say Starfield has sold 6 million copies. Because not even close.
All time. That right there is an impressive number, and we have people celebrating throughout the community. Check it out. It says having a blast for sure. Hits all the things I like about a Bethesda game, studio game so far. Hooked and legit, one of the best games ever made. It is a masterpiece. Let me know if you agree with that sentiment or not, or if you think it's kind of like meh.
It's time. This is why it's time for a purge. This is why the world needs a purge. The Great Flood would not be enough. You know, we need 2 Great Floods in a row at this point.
To each their own. I myself, I'm loving it. But we have this article right here, which attaches itself to this announcement. So yeah, check this out right here. It says Xbox celebrates Starfield as Bethesda's biggest launch ever with some asterisks. And that had me curious. I'm like, I gotta read this article for sure. So let's take a look. It says this, it's a little odd given that Fallout 4 shipped 12 million copies on launch day, but I suppose that's shipped, not sold. It's also reasonable to believe maybe only less than half of those who bought it were able to start playing right away due to one thing or another. But this is 6 million players from early access on September 1st until now, which they say is a record. That's a lot of players. It's also something that has to come with asterisks, given that Xbox has really no meaningful way to report numbers that have any context to them at all, given their new reliance on...
You know what rubs me definitely the wrong way? It's the fact that, you know, the peak player count for the game on Steam was less than 300k. So you're telling me there's literally like what, 5.5 million, like at least 5 million people who are playing on Xbox? I mean, that sounds as sus as it can honestly get, my boys.
On Game Pass. Let's get into this further, shall we? It's definitely interesting. It goes on to say this. Last we heard in January of 2022, there were 25 million Game Pass subscribers. That's a lot. A figure which had dramatically increased.
So they're essentially telling us only 20% of these Game Pass subscribers care to buy Fallout. That's insane. Well, not buy Fallout, but play Fallout, not Fallout. Fallout, Starfield, what's the difference? Tell me, please.
During the pandemic.
That's not a lot.
No new totals have been reported since, but with these 6 million players, there's simply no way to know how many of them are, and it goes on to say this right here, players who already had Game Pass, players who just signed up for Game Pass for this, players who bought the game outright on Xbox, players who bought the game on Steam, and players who paid above and beyond for the special edition for DLC and early access for $30 more. But to think that Starfield, it's wild to me that it is part of Game Pass, such a high quality game. I think that will definitely sell Game Pass for sure, and then also Xbox consoles as well. Now, check it out. It goes on to say Microsoft has been adamant that in this new era of day one Game Pass launches, they care less about sales and more about engagement, as in what will get players to stick around and keep their Game Pass subscriptions.
That's true. Again, I said it already, but I'll say it again. Game Pass is not a benefit to you. Game Pass... If Game Pass saved you money and lost the company money, Game Pass would not exist. The reason Game Pass exists is because you never cancel the subscription because it's only $10 a month and I can play infinity games for it. It's true, but the reality is most people play like 1, maybe max 2 games from Game Pass in like 2 years. So essentially they're they're losing money by using Game Pass. That is the reality of it. And this is why, by the way, true, why Microsoft cares about people staying. Like YouTube cares about people staying on your platform. Because as long as someone is on your platform, they have a chance of making you money. If someone is not on your platform, there's zero chance that they are making you money. So this is a very understandable and reasonable thing to say.
While Starfield is not a live service, it is a game where you can sink anywhere.
It's gonna be a live service,
hours
baby.
into it, implying it could help with Game Pass retention. Well, of course, I mean, this is going to be pretty much what I would call one of those endless games where you can return to it over and over again. And you got to remember, there's going to be long-term support for Starfield. Yes, it seems like modding is going to be coming to Xbox, which will be something that will boost this game's appeal and the game.
Bro, calling modding long-term support is like one of the sleaziest, disgustingest things I have ever heard in my life. Oh, it's going to have mods! Yeah, but what kind of support? Call it mods then, not support. Support for a game implies that the developer is doing shit. Bethesda is not going to do shit.
Pass appeal in itself even more, so that is going to be huge. Furthermore, we have this, but the point stands, 6 million players is not 6 million sales. And I wanted to stop there just for a moment before I read on, because I'm
That's
curious if
true.
Microsoft is talking about active players, because you got to remember we are
No,
not in
no, no, no. People who and I'm assuming this is people who literally press the install button. Not even people who logged in, but people just who press the install button. That's my assumption. What players means, because players don't have to actually mean players playing in the game.
the weekend. People are also still working and very busy. I cannot wait again to see what happens this weekend. But yeah, let's keep going. It says this, it's likely not even close to that with Game Pass. It is the case, however.
Again, with the absolute strange cope take that, oh, people have to work on most people have to work on Sundays and Saturdays. That's why the player number is not increasing, because people have to work on weekdays. Okay, so when are people not gonna work? Like, what's the take here exactly?
That a new Game Pass sub is probably going to be worth more than a sell, as if it lasts a year or even a few months, it's going to cost more than the $70 game would. But without Microsoft reporting how many new Game Pass signups there were because of Starfield, we just won't know, and Microsoft has not reported any Game Pass totals in close to 2 years now. It's mainly
Definitely got some new ones, because if it's on Game Pass, you buy the Game Pass. It's simple and like my prediction is like nine people will buy the Game Pass compared to one person who buys the game just like that without the Game Pass. It's gonna be brutal. And then, even if half those people who bought the Game Pass actually don't cancel their subscription because Game Pass is so much value, well, this pays off. But the fact that this is a new Bethesda title, a new IP, and it's by Bethesda, one of the most legendary game developer studios in the world, and they put it on Game Pass and they didn't milk it to its fullest extent, is insane. That just shows that there was not a lot of confidence in the game actually being good. Because you don't put on Game Pass something this huge, something that you would probably expect every single gamer in the world wants to play and buy. You don't put that on Game Pass.
Porting Xbox,
because you can put that on Game Pass 2 months after and there's no problem with that.
Division revenue, and not console sales either, as they haven't for years. That's been good, but we have zero idea how it actually breaks down. Furthermore, it says Starfield will encourage Game Pass signups and will sell some Xboxes, but we'll likely never know how many, nor will we know exact sales.
I don't buy it that Starfield is actually going to sell Xboxes. Okay, maybe like 10, and that's it. It's not. No one's buying Xbox just to play Starfield. There was one post on the Reddit, but I think that was bait. I refuse to believe that a human that stupid actually exists.
Totals. Not that those would sound terribly impressive with a large percentage of players being through Game Pass. It's just way too messy with Microsoft to try and parse anything from Xbox anymore. Starfield is a hit. It is probably not a quantifiable hit with any number that truly means anything, including this record Bethesda launch, but that's just the way Xbox works now. Most of the rest of the industry is still reporting actual numbers like copies shipped or sold or revenue bought in over a certain period, but it just doesn't work that way with Xbox anymore, and we're sort of just have to take them at their word in some form or another. Yes, this is a very big launch for them, clearly. And you could also see that on the Steam concurrent numbers that this is a huge hit. There is no doubt about it, and I am certain that Microsoft is very, very happy about this one. But, I'm also curious to see what happens again with Elder Scrolls 6.
He's using the classic, oh, that thing's melee, let me jump on a small rock so the AI just dies. That's great. What a giga, Chad.
Now, Cyberpunk 2077 devs had some choice words recently. It says Cyberpunk devs call out unfair Starfield comparison video. And let's scroll on down here and see what this article says. It says this right here. Cyberpunk senior quest designer Patrick K. Mills has responded to a viral video which compares Starfield to Cyberpunk 2077. The video in question shows examples of how Starfield lacks the detail and realism shown in Cyberpunk, an area that Patrick finds both unfair and rather hypocritical. And if we take a look at the tweet from Patrick K. Mills, it says, "How times have changed. This fake criticism is actively harmful to the way the audience interacts with the medium, and I hate it." But
no, this is good. Comparisons like this are amazing. It's a 10 out of 10, in fact. You know, you're a literal multi-billion-dollar company backed by a literal $100 billion company, and you can't even fucking add water details? No, the comparisons like this are good, because they show people how little effort was put into Starfield. And no one probably even played the fucking game.
But it's very funny to see after how many hundreds of these were made to ridicule Cyberpunk 2077. Oh, I remember that. So yeah, this is of course a graphical comparison video. I'll source that in the description below if you want to check it out for yourself in full. Maybe you've run into it. I don't know. But yeah, it always seems to be...
But it is kind of... The water thing is kind of disingenuous because of one simple reason. The game, Starfield, has like water in one place in the whole universe, so there you kind of go.
The case, when a new game comes out, they have a habit of comparing each game to one another, which I guess is reasonable to an extent,
Dude, those
of course. But yeah, we also have some other Cyberpunk devs chiming into this. Check it out right here. We have Miles Toss. And to be fair, most of those items in the comparison have been added, improved by us post-launch. So I love the fact that they're actually like backing Starfield up in a way, I suppose you would say. I think that's cool to see when other devs come in.
Of course, lazy devs are gonna suck off other lazy devs. What do you expect? Most devs are completely incompetent. And you know what the weak do? The weak form packs, the weak form herds, the weak defend each other because they have only excuses to live by. This is why you don't see anyone good making excuses.
Out to fight for each other. I think it's awesome. Now, next up, we also have this one right here. Martin, who says, "I think the weirdest comparison I saw in the deluge of Cyberpunk criticism was the one comparing Cyberpunk's first-person animation to the animations in Red Dead Redemption 2. I still don't get what they were trying to say." Patrick replies saying they likely weren't saying anything. And then we have this. "I think the point being made is a little lost, though. Cyberpunk never really went out to offer unparalleled exploration of a galaxy. It had problems, though, certainly. Starfield not having any attempt at swimming, submersion while exploring planets is extremely questionable." And Patrick says this, "Is that the point? There's no commentary, just a handful of features being compared. What's the meaning of this comparison? How does..."
The meaning of the comparison is, Mr. I am the shittiest game dev that probably ever existed, and now I need to pat someone else on the back that they did a bad thing and try to say that it's fine. You know, every one of us is incompetent. It's the fact that how many things there could have been in Starfield, but they weren't. Starfield is objectively taking one step forward into Fallout and 2 steps backward into Skyrim. This is the world of Starfield.
Does this relate to how I should feel about or experience these games? Useless criticism. Do you guys agree with that or
Obviously,
not? Do you think
no.
the criticism in the comparison video is legit? Do you see that it's okay to compare these games
Oh, this is gonna be great.
when they actually release? I myself, I view
No, he switched the shotgun.
Starfield its own style of game. I view Cyberpunk very much its own style of game, and the same thing with Baldur's Gate 3 and...
Dude, this pirate is literally made out of tank armor, okay? This guy has fucking power armor from Fallout and fucking power armor from Warhammer, okay? This guy is that tanky.
and so on and so forth. And guess what? I enjoy all of them. That's just how I roll. But also, yeah, you can get your eyebrows back. Check it out. It says new Intel driver gives Starfield its eyebrows back. Driver bug that batted eyebrows clean off characters' faces has been fixed. But larger issues with Starfield on ARC graphics cards remain. So yeah, I don't know if any of you are on the art graphic
Is he gonna show the Todd Howard saying it's fine? Nah, it doesn't look like it, but you know, Todd Howard is a legend of lying.
card or not, but I feel for you because it's had the most issues for sure. Now let's head on over to Reddit because we have this one. Despite the massive deal made of planetary borders, guess what? I have not seen one yet. It goes on to say, honestly feel like if I hadn't have seen them before release, I would have never known about them. I have done a decent amount of exploration and I thoroughly enjoy fully surveying planets. Once again, you know,
Bruh, these people are, they're just efficient. What part of Starfield do you call as exploration? It literally sits you on a place, and then you get like 2 or 3 notifications. Hey, go into this dark cave. That's the repeat of the dark cave that was 2 dark caves ago. Oh, and by the way, this dark cave is the repeat of that dark cave, but plus that dark cave. Dude, what exploration? We're talking about a space exploration game where there's no space or exploration. Like, what the fuck is this?
planets. Once again, you know, before the game released, there was that controversy that, oh my god, planets have borders. You can't walk the full planet. And I knew that that was garbage criticism,
That's not garbage criticism. Bethesda literally said when they were marketing this game, you can walk around the planet. Every planet is 100% explorable. It's gonna take 24 hours to walk around the planet real time. But they didn't do that. They lied. And now people are saying, doesn't matter if Bethesda lies.
When the game came out, I was like, just wait to play the game for yourself. And, you know, I also mentioned to you guys before the game release, you're going to see tons and tons of videos where people seek out and find all the problems with the game and try to amplify those problems.
I mean, it's not hard because these problems are kind of like, you know, extremely constantly prevalent.
Again, I'm gonna bet.
Like, look at that. That pirate was bugged. I mean, we have seen quite some gameplay footage, and all of this gameplay footage so far was of low graphics and or bugs. So there you kind of go.
Back up on that a little bit and take a step back and say, yes, there is legit criticism.
And of bad combat, obviously.
Some of this stuff, don't get me wrong. But if you're going to go seeking problems, you're going to find them in any game. Trust me. And next up, we have this one opinion. It's atrocious that you can't swap gun mods. And this one comes from Voronov1, who says this. So in Fallout 4, if you have 2 of the same gun, like 2 hunting rifles, you can swap mods between them, which makes sense. You're taking a long barrel off of one and putting it onto the other.
I had no idea this is a thing.
Given that you're already treating these pieces as interchangeable parts because you can...
But admittedly, in Fallout 4, what does it matter? The only thing that was relatively hard to find was screws and additives. You know, glue, essentially. Screws and glue were the toughest to find until you looked up that alarm clocks gave screws. What else actually gave screws? I don't remember, but you know, you actually... playing Fallout 4, it actually did help to bring up the Biggie what actually has screws.
Make them and apply them to weapons makes total sense. In Starfield, a game made nearly a decade later by the same company in the same engine, you cannot do this. Removing a reflex sight from one maelstrom destroys it.
Obviously.
You can't place it on another maelstrom. That does not make any sense. That's why. In a game as dedicated to crafting, resources, and weapon and armor and spaceship customization as Starfield, why...
Spaceship customization doesn't actually exist because spaceships are useless decorations.
On Earth did they make this change? Let me swap mods around without burning through an ungodly amount of resources. Let me feel excited every time I find a gun with mods on it, rather than, oh, I already have a gun with a special effect without the mod, so I can't even use this without being weaker. Can't even cannibalize it for parts. Guess it's vendor trash. Seriously, what was the logic behind the design decision here? Is there a mod that fixes this yet? If so, can it be applied to save games? I'm like 16 hours in, so it looks like he's seeking out a mod.
Yeah,
I'm not aware of any, but you know what? I will definitely...
Dude, when the mods actually fucking come and they're gonna be paid things, there's gonna be a minimum amount of money you need to dish out on a mod, and it's gonna be beautiful.
Let me let you know if a mod does release. I hope to really get into more mod videos, by the way. And we have some replies. It says, we all know the real crime is we can't mod melee weapons or our fists. Yes. And I feel like melee is kind of underwhelming in this game. Perhaps that's intentional. They didn't want you to rely on it so heavily.
Really?
But I think it would be
Melee
a cool way
underwhelming?
to play the game if that's the way you wanted to play it. So I think that needs an update as well. But yeah, speaking about updates, we have this one right here. It says a quality of life feature we need so badly. And yeah, he highlights the fact that you should be able to eat the item immediately instead of pick it up, place it into your inventory, and then go to your menu, then have to like select eat it.
I mean, having a functioning menu size system would also have been actually a great thing for the game. But you know, you can't get everything when it comes to Bethesda.
Yes, 100% agree with this. I thought this through and through when playing the game. Like, why can't I just like consume the item right now? I need to. So I hope they tap into that and update the game with that feature. And then check this out. I'm at level 34 and I just realized this about the star map while trying to visit every star. Let's scroll on down here. It says star glowing with a halo. You have been there. However, if you notice that a star has no glow or halo, you have not been there, but you can jump there within range of previously visited star system. Now, if a star is red with no glow, you cannot jump there until you jump to another nearby star first. Of course, one of the white stars that you can actually access, and that depends on whatever grav drive you're using. You can upgrade your grav drives and then be able to, you know, jump even further, of course, and upgrade certain perks as well. But some people actually did not know this, so hopefully this does help you out in the future when you are actually using your map and have an understanding of what's going on there. Next up, we have this one right here. It says, for people who love the game, what criticisms do you have? And I'm throwing that to you all. Please post a comment down below. You never know if a Bethesda developer is going to take a look at what you guys have to say. Now it says, first off, I love the game. It delivered what I wanted, and I expect to be playing it for years. That said, I can criticize every game, even my favorite ones. Here are mine in order of the biggest to smallest. So it says, why are there little to no enemies on planets? Occasionally, there will be a pack of monsters, but for the most part, there's no combat.
Because planets are literally designed to waste your time until you run up to an objective. That's it.
Expecting seamlessly transitions when inside of the city or on a planet. If I walk...
Bethesda is the only company that has not taken advantage of SSDs existing and has not fixed this problem that literally almost any other game already 10 years ago was starting to fix, of the seamless transition thing. Bethesda doesn't give a shit.
Into a store in a city or a cave on a planet, it feels like it should be seamless. Loading times aren't long, but a lot of games today have that ability. Again, I was hoping the same thing, of course. Now it says the menus are obviously bad. The city maps need to be detailed. Unnamed NPCs.
The fact that they didn't even bother to add a map. It's just fucking great.
These are awkward, and I'm hoping that mods or future updates will correct some of these problems, especially the first one. Yeah, it would be cool if a mod can also address that issue with the seamless nature when you are finally on a planet.
Jesus fucking Christ.
It would be cool to be able to go into a shop seamlessly, just like go in, open the door, or what have you. There are many games.
Oh, this is the thing with the, pixelated bullets
that have this. I think of even like Red Dead Redemption 2, where you can just walk into the shop. Then again, we are talking about multiple planets here, and if it does affect that initial load time when heading into a planet, and it takes like 10 seconds as opposed to like the 1.5 seconds it currently does, then I would prefer the current system. It all depends on the engine. The creation engine is a different beast in its own right. But check this out right here. This is just beautiful. I explored our solar system for 4 hours last night. Couldn't believe the beauty of Venus. What a shot right there. That is stunning. Yeah, send in your gameplay clips. Send in your, character creations, special findings, spaceship builds, base building builds by following that link in the description below. If you have anything cool that you want to highlight and show off, I will definitely credit you all. This is hilarious right here. It says absolutely hit the jackpot on expert level right here. He finally does it, opens it up, and it's completely empty. But a bummer. This one comes from...
I mean, that's what you get for even playing with lockpicking or wanting things to work.
Lord Crumpets 1,
Dude.
as you can see right here. What a troll. That is such a troll by Bethesda. Now, also, we have this one right here. Starfield. Never change, please. I love the humor. And, of course, we have the colonist who says, I used to be an explorer, too, but then never mind. It's a long story. I love the nostalgic references to previous Bethesda titles right there, highlighting Skyrim. And, of course, we have accidental find. No markers on the map. No clues. I love this game. Look at that crater.
This is literally the only thing you can find on a planet, I should say, not in the... Well, technically it's in the planet. This is the only thing that you can find, honestly. And that's it. And it's not special, it's just random. There's nothing special there.
It's an extinction level event right there, let me tell you. And also some really cool character creations. Actually funny. This one's hilarious. Captain Ron Ulysses Swanson of the Starship Liberty. Parks and Recreation reference right there.
Pretty
He's
good,
getting
though.
things done in the galaxy. And a question for you all. Does your ship look like this right here? Look at the clutter. We have a hoarder right here on the next episode of Hoarding. We're going to have to help this guy out, clean up his ship for sure. All right, so now it's time to get into your top comments from my most recent video. So check it out by following.
Oh, top comments. Nah, that was a pretty fun video. I have to say that was a pretty fun video. Admittedly, it looks like he has no plug. What the fuck?
Thank you so much for watching. Stay tuned for more.
Nah, true. He doesn't have open world games anyway. Good video, funny, but man, a lot of hopium. It is what it is. Well, it's Starfield, baby. That's what it is. The cash king grab, boy. Anyway, this was Quizzer said. Thanks for watching. Subscribe if you haven't already. Have a nice day. Bye bye.